As you start to plan the work and get initiated into developing the plans for building bridges, one of the adages that tends to come out is to plan the work and then work the plan. And as far as planning the work, one of the tools that we tend to use is something called a plan the plan. It does sound redundant, but initially what it means is essentially, excuse me, what it means is that you're going to plan when you're going to do the plans for the work itself. So it's a lot of pre-construction and pre-travel things that you'll end up looking for. The instructions regarding the plan are actually in the tab to help you figure out what to do and how to set it up. But ultimately, um, the template that's already in there covers a lot of just the step by step of what you need to do and helps you to map out things that you'd want to plan around so that as you look at the entire timeline from when you initially are given a project to when you go to travel, what you can plan around so that nobody's scrambling. So one of the things you'll see on the screen here is spring break. Other things that you take into consideration are, finals or graduation or other midterms. And then that way, when you start planning out well ahead of time, it's easier to take those into consideration and not force folks into tight deadlines when there's quite a bit of other scholastic things that have to happen. So, what this plan does when you go through the instructions is essentially help you walk through what has to happen for each of the respective advisory calls, being the tab 1, tab 2, tab 3, and then post travel would be tab 4. This sheet is already pre-formatted so that if you were to type a letter X in any of the squares, it actually turns into a different color already. Conversely, if you type in the letter C to highlight where certain deadlines are, that'll turn it red. The reason it's done that way rather than um, done by highlighting cells, it actually helps you edit and update much quicker than having to highlight and then select the cells from the menu above. But again, it's simply preference. And the thing I like about doing it is that you can then copy and paste into other places if there's some repetitive durations. But ultimately, what you're looking to do is map out how long it would take to do each of the respective tasks. So let's go ahead and pull up an example of one that's been completed in the past. What we do, as I zoom in, apologies for we're going back and forth there, is taking a look at where we want to start. In this case, this example, the first week started in February, and then mapping out, pardon me, what it looks like overall on when this appears to be post tab 1 and getting ready for the tab 2. So what the assumptions when it was going to happen, when the design calcs needed to be done. In this case, it was before February 15th is the end of putting that part together along with the design and the drawings respective to those designs in that same week so that they could meet a tab 2 review call on Tuesday the 20th. And then as you work through, you can take a look and see that, the design check by the Bridge Corps was done ahead of the tab 2 call. And then as it gets ready for some of the tab 3 stuff and getting ready for travel, when they wanted to do their takeoffs to confirm their quantities, put together a budget, it was in this second week, and then subsequently put together their construction guide and what the work plans that go within that construction guide over the course of the next few weeks prior to actually traveling, which in this case shows to be on May the 15th, well ahead of graduation. And so they wanted, in this case, to complete their plans well ahead of those couple weeks, knowing that those would be busy with not only, if you scroll up, looks like finals are this 13th week, along with graduation the week before, and that's why they look to be done here in week 12. So that's just the highlights of what needs to go in the plan, but ultimately what it helps you do is take a look at a macroscopic level what the overall plan is and when it needs to be done so that it's something that you can check in periodically. I recommend that you do it at least bi-weekly to see how you're progressing against your plan, whether you're falling behind and need to allocate more resources or just take a bigger focus on what needs to be done there.